Freight brokers, come on in. Don't be shy. I promise you everything is cool. We just get a little excited around here because we have a lot to be excited for. It's another day outside, so we got another chance to live this wonderful thing that we call life. I want to give big shots out to all of my grinding freight brokers, all of those freight brokers that get it in and day out, to go after it and make no excuses. Big shout out. I want to shout out also to freight brokers who've completed our training program and then went out and completed Brandon's Success Challenge. Big shout out to you. Keep going, keep striving, move those loads, make that money. Now we want to go ahead and jump into what we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about fuel surcharges. And a lot of you, freight brokers and truckers, don't understand how fuel surcharges really work. So what I'll do for you today is, number one, explain to you what a fuel surcharge is. Number two, we're going to talk about how do you actually calculate the fuel surcharge. Number three, we're going to talk about who gets the fuel surcharge. Is it the freight broker or is it the carrier? So come on inside and let's get down to the business. So first, let's discuss what a fuel surcharge is, why does it exist, what is its real purpose. Now, I don't know if you remember, but back in 2005, America was hit with one of the most devastating hurricanes of its history, Hurricane Katrina. And with this devastation came rising fuel costs. For the first time in the history of America, fuel prices rose above $4 per gallon. Now, with these rising costs, of course, that put a whole lot of pressure on the trucking industry. There's no way the trucking industry could survive at those costs. So what they decided to do was to put a mechanism in place to help balance the fluctuations of the cost of fuel. That mechanism is called the fuel surcharge. All right, so most of you are depending on shippers to give you the fuel surcharge. The reason why you're dependent on a shipper to give you the fuel surcharge is because you have no idea how to calculate the fuel surcharge on your own. That's a problem. If you're a freight broker or you are a carrier and you don't know how to calculate a fuel surcharge, then you don't know how to do your job. So let me help you to do your job. Let me give you the calculation of how you calculate a fuel surcharge. You'll find that it's not very difficult at all. So let's say that fuel is costing $3.50 per mile on average at the pump. We know that the base rate in a shipper contract pays $1.25 per gallon. So what we do is take $3.50 and minus it from $1.25, and we get $2.25. Now we take that $2.25 and we divide it by the number of miles per gallon of a truck. We know that to be 6. So when we say $2.25 divided by 6, we get about 37 cents per mile. So that 37 cents per mile will be our fuel surcharge. That's how you calculate the fuel surcharge. Now, I think it's important to understand that the fuel surcharge and the line haul rate are two different charges. The line haul rate is what you charge the shipper to pick up a load and deliver the load only. That's it. The fuel surcharge is added to the line haul rate to give you a total rate. Now, if you're not going to your shipper and negotiating the fuel surcharge, it's very likely that they're just adding the fuel surcharge into your line haul rate. What do I mean by that? Well, this is the trick that they play on you. Let's just say you give the shipper $1,000 to move the load from point A to point B, but you don't negotiate the fuel surcharge. What they'll come in and do is they say, okay, well, the line haul is a total of $800 and the fuel surcharge is $200. So they'll show a line haul rate of $800, a fuel surcharge of $200, and now they have a total of $1,000 because that is the rate that you gave them. So in technical terms, you really didn't get a fuel surcharge. They just showed you a fuel surcharge. They took your line haul and made your line haul, your fuel surcharge, and your line haul rate. And the reason why you didn't get a fuel surcharge is because you didn't negotiate one. So who gets that fuel surcharge? Is it the freight broker or the carrier? The question that I have for you is, what fuel surcharge? Because if your broker didn't negotiate on the front end with the shipper for the fuel surcharge, there is no fuel surcharge. The line haul and the fuel surcharge is a combined cost. And because of this, you're just dealing with a line haul rate. Now, if you had a sharp broker and he negotiated the fuel surcharge and the line haul rate as separate line items, then great. There's a fuel surcharge to talk about. The carrier's responsibility is negotiate the fuel surcharge. If the broker has a fuel surcharge in it, you're due that fuel surcharge. If there is no fuel surcharge though, neither you or the carrier will get the fuel surcharge. Here's what I recommend you do. Settle your nerves, calm down, relax for a minute. Keep your fundamentals up front. You know that you have to quote a line haul, and then you want your shipper to add the fuel surcharge to that amount. You don't want your line haul to be broken down and your fuel surcharge showed as a part of the line haul. So just keep that in the front of your mind. Let your shipper know, hey, I'm quoting you the line haul and I'm expecting that you'll add the fuel surcharge to it. That's how you get a line haul rate plus a fuel surcharge. When I give my rate to my shipper, they send me a tender back. And on that tender, it breaks down and shows how much they're paying me for the line haul, how much they're paying me for the fuel surcharge. And they show the number of miles. So for this example, it says $3.18 per mile for the line haul rate, 34 cents per mile for the fuel surcharge on 1,047 miles. And then that gives me a total rate. It's okay for it to be a total rate then because it's separate from my line haul rate. I have the line haul rate that I've given you. Now I'm adding the fuel surcharge to that of 34 cents per mile to give me a total rate. Now, if you're getting what I'm saying, but you would like a more detailed explanation, I'll be talking about this topic on my next Super Tuesday business meeting. I'll be sending those invites to the meeting out on the morning of the Super Tuesday. So make sure you check your mail. You'll get that invite in the mail. And if you're interested in coming to that class, feel free to do so. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. The freight broker business is a numbers game. If you understand the numbers, if you understand how the numbers work, you can flourish. If you don't, you better start to understand them soon or you're going to have a hard time. Wish you the very best in your life and business. If you want to learn more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's my 5-video series titled How the Load Movement Process Works. It'll give you a look into the freight broker business. I'll bring you into the office and I'll teach you exactly what it is that we do and how we do it. And for those of you who've been taking a look at the freight broker business for a little while now, or you're just curious, you want to know how much it will cost you to start your own freight broker business, I'll leave a free link right here that details exactly how much it's going to cost you. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top because the bottom is much too crowded.